focused mentality today. I appreciate you guys taking the time to stop by. I just wanted to recap real quick on last week. Last week we talked about the discipline of decisions. That we need to be disciplined in not only making decisions. A lot of times, too often, we allow our circumstances or we allow other individuals to make the decision for us. So we need to start with the discipline of making decisions. But then we're moving forward to the discipline of making positive or life-giving decisions. And that discipline is a very strong authority that comes with it. With that discipline, there's a lot of power that comes with being in charge of the decisions that you make. We're moving into this week and we're talking about the difference between reacting and responding. A lot of times in life, whenever things are coming out of circumstances or relationships or difficult conversations or stressful environments, we tend to be reactionary to the problem, to the issue, to the circumstance, to the person. Well, that authority is placed now all on that person. They are now in 100% control of you if we are reactionary individuals. Well, there's a story in the Bible that's pretty clear that we're not supposed to be reactionary. I'm going to read it to you. It's actually out of Genesis 39. It's the story of Joseph. It starts in verse 6. It says, "Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. It came about after these events that his master's wife, Miss Potiphar's wife, looked with desire at Joseph and said, 'Lie with me.' But he refused and said to his master's wife, 'Behold, with me here my master has no concern himself with anything in the house, and has put me and all that he owns in my charge. There is no one greater in this house than I, and he has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do this evil against him and against God?' And then it just moves right into verse 10. As she spoke to Joseph day after day, he did not listen to her or lie beside her or be with her." So this was a consistent and a persistent stressful environment. Joseph had a reaction in the beginning, and he had built up a response. So he had to react initially whenever something came out of the blue, but then continually day after day, he learned to respond. And you'll see that in verse 12, it says, "She caught him by his garment, saying, 'Lie with me.' And he left his garment in her hand and fled and went outside." That was a response that he had premeditated and thought out. He reacted the first time. He had his right intentions, his motives from the beginning of what he was going to do. And then what happened is whenever that stressful environment came and it was another surprise or something that caught him off guard, he had already practiced or thought about a response of what he was going to do. And he left himself in a vulnerable position, but he made the decision, the best decision that he could in that circumstance. He couldn't fight her off. He couldn't go tell anybody because, again, she had the authority over him because of her place in the home. And so the only thing he knew that he could do is that he could run, irregardless of, if it left him in his underwear or what happened. But he had a response built and ready. Another great example of responding and not reacting is Jesus on the cross. Jesus is on the cross. He had made up his mind. He had the discipline to make the decision of what he was going to do. Now he's on the cross, and he's dying for our sins, and he's being mocked by those around him. He's being laughed at. He's being accused of things he didn't do, and yet he didn't react. And an even better example is as he's on the cross, and he has the prisoner and the murderer on either side, and one of them reaches out, with his words and says, "Forgive me, you are the Son of God." And he responded. He didn't react and tell him, "You're a sinner, you're going to hell." He responded with love and with care because he had that built up inside of him. He also responded with love and care to his mother when he asked John to watch over her. He had so many built-in responses. And actually, if you look, the responses that he had were out of the Psalms. He had the word hidden so deep down into his heart that whenever a stressful environment, a stressful circumstance, a position he didn't want to be in, what came out was what was deep down in him. For him, it was the scriptures. For others, is it frustration? Is it love? When we get into a stressful situation, I mean, there's so much going on right now uh, with racial uproar, and there's a lot of rioting and a lot of upset, as people should be, But when those situations rise, whenever you're scrolling on social media, are you being met with a reactionary thought or reactionary comment, or are you responding and allowing Christ to be using in you? Follow this up with our purpose. Our purpose every day, we're going to be met with difficult situations. Every day as we attempt to walk out that which God has given us to do, there's going to be times where we're met with adversity. Are we reacting to adversity, or are we responding to adversity? Are we responding with peace and patience and long suffering, or are we responding with frustration and contempt and throwing our hands up? There's so many opportunities every day to be a responder. That's why we call our men and women of action first responders. They're responding. They're not reacting. Okay? They're not first reactors. They're first responders. There's a lot of authority that comes with that. So I just want to encourage each one of us to be responders today. Respond to your purpose. When the opportunity comes to walk it out, respond. Don't react. Respond. When difficult situations come arise today, don't be reactionary. Respond. There is a difference in you, each one of you, men and women. You have the authority and the power to respond. Praying for you guys. I'm rooting for you.